Y'all must have forgot Roy Jones Jr. says that Floyd Mayweather TBE, he never came close to doing what I done did. Y'all know what it is. It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with the Boxing Clinic. And Roy Jones say y'all must have forgot all these whack fights I've been fighting past my prime must have clouded y'all vision. And y'all must have forgot that what I was. And I was the supreme ruler of boxing. And he right. You know, Roy, you know, what's that deal? He says, you watch sickest, you type sickest highlight reel in YouTube or whatever, what you gonna get is Roy Jones. He said nobody entertained the way that I entertained in the boxing ring. Nobody did it the way I did it. He said that I have yet to see somebody start their career at 154 pounds and go all the way up to heavyweight and win a world title. He said, Mayweather is good, but he ain't did what the great Roy Jones Jr. Did. And I think Floyd was the predecessor on the pound-for-pound list after Roy Jones Jr. And he right. Roy Jones Jr., man, sick. Hella speed, hella defense, good O. One of the few guys that didn't need a jab to rock your world. And, Roy's getting ready for his boxing homecoming, or homegoing. And he wanted everybody not to forget what he was in his prime. And, but Roy did start off slow in his career. His father was God in his career, and they was taking baby steps. And Floyd hit the ground running way faster than Roy Jones did. We can all agree to that. But when Roy beat Bernard, then it was a little low. Then he beat the pound-for-pound guy in James Toney, that people saying was the best in the boxing. He did another article on that. And he said, I obliterated James Toney. James Toney came out and said he should never been fighting at that weight. He said he played college ball at 200 pounds, and he don't know why he squats down to that weight. And he was having a hard time making weight that night. But guess what? Mr. Roy Jones, waxed him. That was Roy Jones' coming out party. That's when he was Roy Jones. And that might have been, I don't know how many fights in his career, was deep in his career before he grasped that. But, then he went on to beat Montel Griffin. And we know the first fight what happened. Then he obliterated him in round one, and he had that epic rant. And his entertainment value was way better than Floyd's overall, in my opinion. I don't think anybody can argue that. He was the most, entertaining, unorthodox, skilled fighter that boxing has seen. We had seen nothing like Roy Jones before in the sport of boxing, especially moving up all those weight classes. And he did what he did. He was, he won a middleweight title beating a young Bernard Hopkins. He won a light heavyweight title, or super middleweight title beating James Toney. Moved up to light heavyweight. He waxed Mike McCullum along the way. Montel Griffin, he waxed amongst the way. He beat Antonio Tartar, John Ruiz, and people kind of skeptical of his heavyweight, him winning a heavyweight title because he picked the weakest champion. But at the end of the day, how many people can move up from 54, starting their career at 154 pounds, and move up to heavyweight and win a world title? I mean, people get lost in the sauce and lost in the mix when talking about Roy Jones because they see what he had become now and how he's a stepping stone fighting fans, and, his addiction to boxing is hard for people to watch, knowing where he came from, But, what Floyd's argument would be that he had a bigger impact on the sport of boxing than Roy Jones. He raised the bar for financials. He broke pay-per-view where Roy Jones couldn't do pay-per-views like Floyd Mayweather. The opponents are comparable for the most part. Roy moved. He didn't win the title at 54. He won with 68, 75, or 60, 68, 75 in heavyweight. I'm not sure if he got a cruiserweight title in one weight. He was old at that point. He did beat Felix Trinidad. But, Floyd beat Gennaro Hernandez. He beat Corrales. He beat Pacquiao. He beat Oscar. He beat Ricky Hatton, who was undefeated at the time. And he beat a lot of different guys. He went to Atlantic City, beat, Gotti. He beat Canelo Alvarez, who's now one of the top, now the face of boxing. So he's done what he did, and Roy did what he did, and Floyd got a lot of respect for Roy. I remember him doing doing an interview with Fight Hype a long time ago when Fight Hype first started doing Floyd interviews. And he said Roy just got old, When you talking about longevity, it's Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather, never lost his prime in one night in the boxing ring. And when Roy went up to heavyweight and put all that muscle on and came back down, you know, if you want to use that as an excuse, that was his fault. But Roy isn't the ambassador for boxing like Floyd is. Roy was a great pound-for-pound fighter, but he wasn't the face of boxing like Floyd is now. You know, Floyd, you know, marketing genius, you know, just took him to another level. Him and Al Heyman being able to market and sell pay-per-views, that's worth something, you know. But if you're talking about in the ring, Roy Jones was a bad mother. He just didn't have the PR and the marketing that Floyd had. I know Roy Jones appeared on the weigh-in show, and he was larger than life, it seemed like. Until you see how large and the godfather of boxing that Floyd Mayweather is now. You know, and, you know, I understand Roy. You know, he, entertainment value, I mean, it's Mike Tyson, then Roy Jones can't be too far behind. And what he done in his career was remarkable. He beat James Toney, a Hall of Famer. He beat Mike McCullum, a Hall of Famer. Beat Bernard Hopkins, a Hall of Famer. I know, nobody knows what Antonio Tarver was on, but he beat him. Then he ended up losing him. He beat Trinidad. I mean, he had an excellent career. And I know you hear, somebody saying that they better than your career, and you feel you was better than him. In the ring, he probably was, more entertaining than Floyd Mayweather. But that's only one aspect of it. Him outside the ring, he was doing a good job marketing, rapping, and doing stuff of that nature. But it was some stuff, he left a lot on the table. And I remember Bob Arum saying that's the reason you have a promoter, is to build other foes up and market you the right way. And he said Roy could have used a promoter as well, and to market and get his name out there. And he really left a lot of money on the table. I'm paraphrasing what Bob Arum said. But Roy did it his way. Roy admitted that Floyd made way more money than him. And, it's prize fighting. So that's just something to be said about prize fighting, But both was wonderful pound-for-pound kings of their time. I mean, Roy was way more entertaining, in my opinion, more longer in his career. He's a better offensive fighter. He was a great defensive fighter as well. But you know what happened when you don't have no technique, you don't have no fundamentals, you do things orthodox. When you do things unorthodox, man, and your athleticism drop off by a millisecond, or you leave if you lose a half a step or a quarter step, and people that barely missed you by that, and now they hitting you, and you start getting hit. When Roy got tapped on the chin, he wasn't the same. When people found that out, he wasn't the same. So, they both was great fighters. I don't like to compare kings and kings. They can just be kings with themselves. And Roy just, he thinks he in his own stratosphere, and Floyd thinks he in his own stratosphere. But in here and now, Floyd is more relevant than Roy Jones was right now. But that's nothing to be said. Roy did it to himself, man. He should have been left the boxing game a long time ago. He was great on TV. He's great teaching guys at the Roy Jones Boxing Academy. I see him giving game to Money Powder Fourth all the time, and helping different guys out. So, they both contributed to the boxing game. Roy Jones feel one way. Of course, Floyd feel another way. But I've seen interviews with Floyd talk very highly of Roy Jones. And Roy Jones paved the way for guys like Floyd Mayweather and the guys today to be able to market, and all the great highlights he had. Everybody look up to Roy Jones, man. So, I don't think he was knocking Floyd. He just wants y'all to remember what he was. And Roy was a king. You can't forget that. TBC, we out.